everybody. Welcome back to episode 3726 of the Cabral Concept. This is our second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. If you want to follow along with today's questions, head on over to stephencabral.com/3726. As you know, every single weekend we answer about 10 questions from the community, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday. I appreciate you, as always, reviewing the show, leaving a rating, helping to spread the word. That is what it's all about. So without further ado, let's dive into the community's questions here today. Again, if you have your question, head on over to stephencabral.com/askcabral. Just type it right in there. I'm always happy to answer that on the weekend edition of the show. Sheena is up first. Sheena says, "Hi, Dr. C. Hope you and your team are well." Same to you, Sheena. I'm a 46-year-old female in the thick of perimenopause and suffering from all the symptoms, and I also have gut issues too. I'm going to run the EquaLife Big 5 and would also like to run the menopause and fertility test as well. My question is, will running the menopause test be beneficial even though the Big 5 includes the stress, mood, and metabolism test? I would like as much data as possible because knowledge is power, but also don't want to purchase unnecessary tests. Look forward to your response. Okay, happy to help with this. You wrote in about 4 weeks ago. Actually, we're catching up on questions, which is great. Usually we're about 6 weeks behind. So the Big 5 is the best way to go. No doubt about it. So the menopause and fertility test, believe it or not, is going to be discontinued for the foreseeable future only because the lab is no longer running the 3 unique markers to that lab, which is FSH, LH, and AMH. That stands for follicular-stimulating hormone, anti-Mullerian hormone, and luteinizing hormone. Sorry, drew a blank there for a second. And all of those are great to tell you where you are in perimenopause, how close you are to menopause. But that test lacks the thyroid-based panel. So the nice thing is the stress, mood, and metabolism test covers everything in the menopause and fertility test except for those 3 markers. And you can run those on your blood work if you choose to in the future at any time because they're not going to change wildly. And the reason is that the closer you get to menopause, the lower that AMH number will be. And then the higher the FSH number will be. So hopefully that's helpful. So run the Big 5. That's the best way to do it. We work with thousands of women in perimenopause that are looking to balance their bodies naturally without even having to use hormone replacement therapy. I can't recommend it enough. We look at vitamin levels, mineral levels, gut function, food sensitivities, heavy metals, mitochondrial function, inflammation, you name it. The Big 5 looks for it. I can't recommend it enough. Just go to stephencabral.com/big and the number 5. Check it out. All right, Anonymous is up next. Anonymous says, have you ever heard of Cantron, Cancel, Protocell? It claims to help with, I don't know if I can say cancer, but C, using biological wellness. It stimulates cellular regeneration so the body can regenerate, repair more efficiently by restoring the electrical environment, which determines whether cells thrive or die. It has potassium, sodium, iron, calcium, copper, sulfur, and a blend of phenolic compounds from flavonoid family subgroup catechins, quinones, hydroxyquinones, and cyclophenetines. My family knows people that have had success with it. My aunt has triple-negative breast cancer despite taking it. She is adamant that she wants to stay on it while working on lifestyle changes. Taking it limits other supplements she can take, so I feel stuck now on how to help her. Any insight on what you would do would be great. Okay, happy to help. So here's the thing. I work with hundreds of cancer support clients. And I can tell you this. There is no one protocol that works for every individual. I'm going to repeat that because on Instagram, you'll say like, oh, just take this antiparasitic and you'll be healed. Just take this and you'll be healed. I have never seen that in clinical practice. Never. And I'm always honest with you. Trust me. If there was a natural health protocol that was literally the cure, everyone would know about it, everyone would be doing it, and everyone would be healed. Unfortunately, that protocol does not exist. No matter what you've been told on Instagram. I wish it did. I mean, I would open source it to the world. I've open sourced everything I do. I just do it in different ways. And then I work with a specific client. I also look at off-label drug use, et cetera, right? So like we really do a deep dive. It's a 3-hour consult and I do 3 hours of prep. if you're interested in not just for cancer, of course, but all health issues, I work with only one new client a week. That's on Fridays from 9 to 12 Eastern. And I do 3 hours of prep. And that's at stephencabral.com/consulting. Anyway, that's not trying to sell that. We literally sell out of all those slots all the time, but it's available if you know someone who needs it. Okay. So I open source all of my up-to-date cancer-based knowledge at stephencabral.com/cancer. And you're welcome to check it out there. I have not used this supplement or this protocol. So unfortunately, I always tell you when I have no familiarity with it, I have no familiarity with it, except sulfur blends do work. We use that with cruciferous-based veggies. We use polyphenols and phenolic compounds with greens and all sorts of other great things. So we do a lot of these things, not this specific formula though. So I just want to let you know I don't know it. Alex is up next. Alex says, will it boost my metabolism and enable me to enjoy all foods while keeping my weight stable if I do every other day? 1 day carbohydrates only, 1 day protein only next carbs only next protein, and so on. Thank you, Alex. All right, I know what you're saying. So basically you're saying Monday carbs, Tuesday no carbs, only protein. Wednesday no protein, only carbs. All right. This is not the best way to stabilize your weight or balance the what are called homeostatic systems of the body, keeping your body healthy. Not just about weight, it's about health. If you are at a healthy weight, you're most likely at the proper amount of calories for the amount of calories your body burns at rest plus lifestyle, balanced with whatever exercise output you have. If you exercise or move more, you'll need more total calories. If you exercise or move less in the future, you'll most likely need less. As you get older, you typically can't eat as many calories. However, just getting back to your point, there is a way to do up and down dieting, it's called. I have a whole podcast on it. It's called the 5-2. So basically, 5 days a week, your normal eating, whatever your normal eating is, your balanced carbs, protein, and fats. 2 days a week, you take your total calories down to 800. You still eat carbs, fat, and protein, but if you're eating 1,600 calories a day, you go down to 800. So it's just 2 days, call it Tuesday and Friday, of low calories, or Monday and Thursday, which would probably be more realistic for most people. You can do that. You can also do what I do or others in our community. It's called the 1-day reset diet. I do it on Mondays. It's either fasting until dinner, so Sunday night to Monday night fasting, only water, or it is doing 3 DNS during the day to give your body the detox cofactors and the micronutrients that it needs, which is good for most people with energy issues, brain fog issues, hormone issues, etc. You literally just do 1 scoop of DNS at those 3 shakes. It's very simple, daily nutritional support. So either way, like whatever works for you, that's a way to do it. You're reducing total calories for the week, no matter how you do it, because you're just having one normal dinner. Don't overeat on Monday night if that's how you do it. So if you eat 1,600 calories a day, don't eat 1,600 calories at dinner. Have your normal 500 to 600 calories at dinner or whatever that dinner is, and then you've already, now you're at a deficit of 1,000 calories for the week. So however you want to look at it, but I don't recommend carbs 1 day, protein 1 day. Your body needs carbs, protein, and fat every day, and you just want to find the right ratios for you. All right, Alex, great question though, really good question. Anonymous is up next. Is it possible that an inguinal hernia could repair itself without the need for surgery? Asking for an adult female in case this matters. What corrective exercises would be recommended and which exercises should be avoided? How long might this kind of hernia to repair if possible? Thank you. All right, so question on, can an inguinal hernia repair itself? So there are different types of hernias, but all of them, and they can just occur in different parts of the body. So umbilical hernia near the belly button, inguinal hernia down near the groin. That's basically it. Your inguinal cleft, or like the lines that kind of where the hips come up, it's down near the groin area. That's an inguinal hernia. So what happens is the abdominal wall actually gets a little bit of a hole in it. And that hole allows the intestines to start to push through. That's what a hernia is. Now, in many cases, I've had a hernia, believe it or not, for 25 years, and I've never had it repaired because it doesn't cause me any issues. Some hernias are somewhat genetic, meaning like in my family, I'm not going to say my family members, they've had multiple of them. And so there's a genetic defect in a part of the wall, abdominal wall. Now, sometimes it can literally happen because you tear the abdominal wall straining. That happens all the time, believe it or not. Like that's a real thing. For me, sure, maybe it happened with weightlifting, maybe it happened with sports, who knows, right? But that gap can get larger or smaller, but typically it never fully closes. So there's some repair that can take place, but inside of the medical literature, it doesn't usually say that it happens. I will say this, I've had people have it show up in an MRI and then it doesn't show up on an MRI and then it does a few years later. So I think there's varying degrees. I think it can probably heal to a certain degree, but not maybe fully close. And the only way to get it to fully close is to eventually have surgery. The surgery is so simple now, and they can use different types of mesh. So it's not one to be as worried about. It's typically simple outpatient-based surgery. So I wouldn't be as worried about it. But having said that, I'm not planning on having mine repaired anytime soon unless it literally causes me symptoms or aggravation. All I can see is that when I run a full body MRI, it sometimes shows up. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Patricia is going to be our last question for the day. Patricia says, I can't handle any methylated vitamins or quercetin. I react strongly, fatigue, body tingling, aches, migraines. I know the cause. It's mold and I'm working on it. However, my coach, who's not an IHP, keeps trying to push me to take methylated Bs because she says that I'm methylating poorly. I think this means I can't clear methyls, not that I don't methylate enough. What do you think? I do have an MTHFR variant, not on the primary SNP, but the other one. And I'm a fast COMT. I'll explain what all this means in a moment. I'm trying to figure out how to dial in my B vitamins and make sure I don't overdo it. I take all non-methyl forms right now. This is also keeping me from doing your detox, sadly, as the daily nutritional support has methylated Bs. Any insight or pointers would be appreciated. Okay, so let's take a step back. MTHFR is just methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. I know it's a big word, but all that means is that are you able to take something like B9 and be able to use it for DNA replication, to be able to use it for energy metabolism and much more, right? So we need that. But the problem is people take methylfolate and they end up feeling worse than better. And usually the reason is that, yes, B9 is the primary driver for methylation. However, B9 doesn't work in isolation like I've always shared before. It needs the other B vitamins. It needs B12, which many people have heard about, right? Methylcobalamin. Some people take adenosylcobalamin, etc. There's also B6, P5P version, pyridoxine 5-phosphate, right? Pyridoxal 5-phosphate. And then there's one that might be greatly affecting you, Patricia, which is vitamin B2. Vitamin B2 moves these methyl donors throughout the body. So really important. That's why all your B vitamins are important. In this particular case, when you feel worse when you take them, it is usually a transport, utilization, and removal process of the body. So they build up in your body. Some people even feel fine on the first dosage, but then feel terrible after a few days of taking them. It's usually the body's ability to get out of the body. Here's what we need. We need to make sure the liver is healthy, kidneys are healthy, bowels aren't congested. We need to make sure you're taking magnesium, zinc as a partial cofactor, really important as well. So honestly, what we do a lot of the time is we use the daily nutritional support or the daily activated multi, but only 25% of the dosage. So that would mean a half a scoop of the daily nutritional support taken with a meal, which is just going to make it so much easier. That would be your liquid at the meal, like just be very simple. Or you take one activated multivitamin mid-meal. You can take it at dinner if you want. Then if you get any brain fog or anything, it's gone by the next day. This allows your body to get all the nutrient cofactors to begin to work better. Here's why it's an issue not using any methylated Bs. And again, everyone's different, and I understand that. No matter what, your body has to methylate the B vitamins. That's how it has to use them. So your body is taking the non-methylated form and eventually methylating them, right? To be able to use them in their biologically active form. Sometimes you need trimethylglycine. That's why we add trimethylglycine to our activated B complex as well. So you're either going to try the daily activated multi or the DNS, or one capsule, only one capsule of the activated B complex, or even open it up, mix it in a little bit of cranberry juice or whatever you want, tiny amount, And so you don't taste it because B vitamins are kind of bitter. And you can drink that during a meal as well. So different ways to get your body to start to utilize them, while at the same time, use your sauna. Do the, if you can, lower dose of the functional medicine detox. Begin to open up those liver detox and drainage pathways to ultimately be able to help the body heal. So Patricia, hopefully that was helpful. Keep working with your integrative health practitioner or your coach who's working on these things, but look at it from an integrative perspective. Everything at once. That's what's going to get you the benefit there. Believe me, I've been there myself. Couldn't take multis, couldn't even take big B vitamins because I would get massive brain fog probably about an hour after taking them. My body couldn't handle it. Now, no issues at all. Of course, I use my daily nutritional support every day, and I take an activated B complex. So you'll get there. It takes time. We need to just take baby steps sometimes, not the mega dosages. Hopefully this was helpful. I appreciate all of you tuning into the show and, of course, sharing it with anyone you believe it could serve. And I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new start to the Cabral concept. Take care.